3 words that describe Senator Sanders. Why he's appealing to you. 3 words.
Integrity, honesty, and hardworking.
Credible, honest. Seems like he's moral.
Smart, socialist, Jewish.
Amazing, progressive, and new.
Very devoted following.
Not for sale.
That was what we got when we asked voters at the Iowa Jefferson Jackson dinner on Saturday night to give us 3 words to describe Senator Bernie Sanders. We'll ask those same questions to a woman who knows him maybe slightly better than those people do, Jane O'Meara Sanders, potential First Lady. It's great to have you here on our set.
Nice to be here,
for your
John.
first ever visit to With All Due Respect. So let me just start with a really simple, basic question. Tell us about your family.
We've got 4 children and 7 grandchildren, and we love to be with them. That's our favorite thing. And we get back to Vermont to actually just hang out with them. I mean, that no matter what else we're doing, we try to get home at least one night every few weeks.
Can you give what are your 3 words for your husband?
I think integrity is definitely one of them. Caring and honest, loving, wonderful.
You went over.
Yes, I did go over.
Okay. Tell us the story of how you met Cute.
Met
Cute.
We first met. It was strange. When he was running for mayor, I was a community organizer, and the neighborhood organizations that I organized came and met with the then mayor, Paquette, and the questions they were asking were being kind of evaded. They weren't quite answered. And so I started to stand up and ask questions, and they said, "Now you sound like Bernie Sanders." I sat down and I said, "Who's Bernie Sanders?" And they said, "I think he's running for mayor as an independent." And I said, "Let's organize a debate." So we had a debate a couple of weeks later, and I just immediately fell in love with his ideas, and shortly thereafter fell in love with him. So it was wonderful.
Do you remember the very first words you two exchanged?
I think I said, "Mr. Sanders, welcome." But nobody was paying attention to the then mayor because they weren't supportive. So I had to go over, as is my wont, to take care of whoever needs you. So.
I was really hoping those first words were going to be, "Man, you're smoking hot."
No.
You guys went on a honeymoon that some would describe as unusual to the Soviet Union. Mm-hmm. Your husband, in fact, later described it as a strange experience. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the honeymoon and why it was so strange.
Well, we went to the Soviet Union to establish a sister city relationship with Yaroslavl. Russia.
What year was that?
That was 1988. Mm-hmm. He asked me to marry him, and in March, and I said, "When?" And we said, "Well, we really don't have any other time. We're going on this diplomatic mission to do a sister city with Yaroslavl, and we don't have any other time that we can take off." So we picked our date, realizing we were going to have to be marching, heading the Memorial Day parade on the 29th, and traveling to Russia on the 29th in the afternoon. So on the 28th, we said, "Okay, May 28th it is." So our wedding was determined by that, but it was fun. We had 10 people with us, and just had a wonderful time. But it was not your normal honeymoon. It was really educational and wonderful.
What time of year was it?
May.
It was in May. So you had springtime in the former Soviet Union.
Yes, and Yaroslavl is quite wonderful. The sister city is still going on. There have been doctors and hospitals, all these different relationships that we've continued over the years.
You were married to a United States Senator. You still are, but now he's a little bit more famous than he was before. How has the life of the Sanders family changed in the last couple months?
It's amazing. You can't walk down the street. I mean, in Vermont, people are so used to seeing us, it's fine, and they're all, supportive. But we just walk down New York, and people are turning around and stopping and asking for selfies. That's the hardest thing. We can't get any alone time.
A lot of upside to people being so nice and supportive and all that. What are some of the downsides of this newfound life that you have?
Just the lack of privacy, but really the upsides far outweigh the downsides. I mean, we're meeting wonderful people. They're coming up and they're saying, we're supporting you because of this, or you're speaking to my issue. Thank you for running. That's one of the things that's been really nice to see, that people aren't just interested in the celebrity or, oh, that person's on TV. It's, I love what you're saying about college tuition. I love what you're saying about health care, and then telling us personal stories. And I mean, I'd really like to get to know all these people. So it's wonderful.
I wonder, your husband is obviously very passionate and very principled and very committed to his passion and his principles. He talks about issues, he talks about his ideology, he talks about his beliefs. He doesn't talk that much about himself when he's out on the campaign trail. Presumably there's a side of Bernie Sanders that you see that the public doesn't see very much. Would you like for the public to be able to see more of the Bernie that you know?
I would. On the other hand, I think that he has limited amounts of time to talk about the issues that are so important, and that's why he's running for president, not because he's a wonderful person or a loving father or grandfather and that he loves to have fun and he loves music, but hopefully they will get to see more of that as time goes on. I think it is happening as more and more media interest is taking place, that he's being able to talk a little bit more instead of saying, okay, I have this one time to talk about issues. He's been pretty funny with you.
We've sparred with him on this because we're so impressed by his real focus on issues. I mean, it's great for the country to have a presidential candidate, that discipline to say, I don't care about the soap opera and the hype and the politics. It's incredible. Regardless of what you think of his positions, that's great. And his critique of the media is pretty darn good, too. On the other hand, don't you want to know your political leaders? Don't you want to know what kind of music they like, what their families like? Isn't that part of electing a leader and understanding who might lead us?
I tell him that. Yeah. And then he says, he gives me the same face that he gives you. But
so you've tried to convince him?
I have. I've always been the one that kind of made that
happen. What's like an anecdote or a trait of his that you think, God, I wish everybody in the country knew that? It's got nothing to do with issues, but just about him.
Well, I mean, he loves music, and he's just very sincere, and when he's not talking about the issues and he's with seniors, for instance, in Vermont, he's very there. He's very present. He's listening to them and enjoying what they're telling him. He is thinking in the back of his mind what else has to happen, but, he does a Christmas party every year, a holiday party. He has
We're
not
coming to
missed.
that.
Good. For seniors, and then there's one that he ran his first campaign for mayor against a condominium complex, a luxury condominium complex on the waterfront. He wanted a people-oriented waterfront. The developer of that has become a very, very good friend. He's a Republican. We've never asked him for any donations or anything, but he's become a very good friend. And he started with us 35 years ago to have a Christmas party or a holiday party for low-income families, and then moved to have holiday parties for veterans when Bernie was on the Veterans Committee. And he has not missed that in all those years. He has a crazy schedule, but he doesn't miss that.
We only have a little tiny bit of time left. I want to ask you two quick questions. Whose imitation do you like better? His of Larry David that he did on the show, or Larry David of him?
I think Larry David was really good. Yes.
Okay. The second imitation that we have seen him do many times now is his monster imitation that he does for his grandchildren.
Yes. Yes.
Do you do a monster imitation?
I do not. I do not.
Do you do any imitations for your grandchildren?
I don't do imitations. I read to them. I play Legos with them. He teaches them chess, all of them. He teaches them baseball and soccer as well. That's something that your viewers wouldn't know, but that is something that happens every time he's home. They come running out.
I now have this really deep desire to take Bernie Sanders with me to the World Series here with the Mets.
Wait, you have to take me.
I'm taking you. I'm taking you all. Well, maybe you should, and I should just go. We'll leave him behind.